Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and all things above and in between. I am one of your hosts, Obsessive Reader Love, but you can call me Love. And as always, I am joined by...
Hi, I'm Loreweaver.
Hi, I'm Teddy, and you can call me unemployed as of Monday. How's everyone doing?
Oh, dear.
Oh, no, it's by choice. It's good for me. Don't worry.
Oh, okay. Whew.
Well...
It's like
and this
choosing...
is the second episode of the Own Tempo Pokemon podcast.
Celebrating a lack of work everywhere in America.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a job.
I technically have a job, but it's the weirdest job I've ever seen.
It's a
Hooray!
good job. I hope you have a good time of it.
I do. I love my job.
Yeah, in my case, it's more resetting your Pokemon save file than losing all your data, you know?
Okay.
Seems like a plan.
I put some good Mons in Pokemon Home. It's all good.
Cool. So in this podcast, we will be discussing various species of Pokemon, and going on a bunch of tangents along the way as we already have, hence the name of the podcast. Last episode, we did the Kanto starters. This episode, we're starting in on the Johto starters, and I know Lore is very excited.
I am so excited.
And I'm very sorry to keep you from the Johto stars for a bit longer, but I just had the most fantastic thought in my head.
Oh, all right. It's Teddy's story time.
No, It's not a story time. It's a question.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
What do you think the most unemployed Pokemon is?
Oh, God.
Lickitung.
Lickitung? I mean, I was just
That
gonna
is
say...
a deadbeat on his mom's couch.
I mean, I was gonna, use logic and say slack off, probably.
I'd say maybe Finian because everyone forgets it exists.
I mean, I guess, but I mean, there are probably Finians in some aquariums and stuff, in the Pokemon world.
Oh, do you think they use them to light those tunnels?
Possibly, yeah.
They're bioluminescent or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can see that in New Snap actually.
Oh, that's nice.
I love that they put them in New Snap. I was so happy. I was so happy to see Lumineon using its little fins to dig. That was the coolest thing. But anyway, we are here today to talk about the Johto starters.
I'm a big fan of the Johto starters. I think they're all top tier designs. I love them. And that's not just because I think the Gen 2 remakes are probably the second or third best games in the mainline series.
Heart Gold and Soul Silver rule out loud.
They were so good. They were as good. I love them as much as I hate Gen 4.
Yeah. To be clear, people, he's talking
Gen
about
4.
Diamond and Pearl, not Platinum. Platinum's fine.
I've never played Platinum.
I think the main issue is the text speed, which there are plenty of ROM patches to help you with.
I didn't like the gyms, I didn't like the region, I didn't like the plot, which is a shame because Cynthia is the best champion in the series. She's so cool!
That is true. I remember very little about Gen 4 from my childhood, except, Cynthia was there.
This is so foreign to me because I love Sinnoh. So you know how you, Lore, were the correct age when Gen 1 came out?
Uh-huh.
So when Gen 3 came out, I was 7, 8, and when Diamond and Pearl came out, I was 10. And I got it along with a pink DS for Christmas, alongside my younger brother who got Pearl. I had Diamond, and I have the fondest memories of having that DS, playing around with Picto Chat, just playing the DS games, and Pokemon Diamond and Pokemon Platinum are high-tier nostalgia things for me, so I cannot relate. I love the Sinnoh region. I have a lot of memories of it, but we're not here to talk about Sinnoh. We're going to talk about Johto. So I actually had a discussion with my friend about what all of the regions kind of feel like, because she was describing how Sinnoh and Alola made her feel, and it was really evocative. So I wound up pitching in for all of the regions. For Kanto, it feels like an old playground that you used to go to when you were a kid, and you don't really fit the swings and you make them creak, but it's still fun to swing on them anyway. And
I
Johto
can see that.
reminds me of my grandparents' house. everything, you know everything. You've been there a million times, but it still feels special, and it still feels just different enough in terms of vibes that it's always interesting to go there, even though you know it back to front, and you can like, you know everything that you're going to see in every area. It's always still very cool.
There's just so much to it, right? Like, it's a whole Kanto-sized region, and then they added Kanto on top of it.
It's pretty awesome, yeah. And I mean, the locales in Johto are really cool. Like, just because it is sort of like the Kyoto vibes, like because it is sort of directly contrasting to Kanto, which is like the Tokyo region, and it's very much more like in the culture of Japan in a lot of ways. It's got like a lot of the, it's got the shrines and like Eckertique and Violet City are both very, very evocative of that.
Confession,
but it feels more,
growing up, I didn't realize it was a pun on teak, and I always pronounced it Ecrudiac.
Huh. I just knew it was Eckertique because of the anime.
Speaking of the anime, man, it's a whole new world we live in.
Oh yeah! I love that fucking song. It is literally my alarm. It is literally my alarm. The version in and this is going to be your love recommend section for today. I said it last episode already, but it's in the third movie.
Yeah,
it's a remix, and it's the coolest version. It's sick, and I love it.
Because it adds in some good instrumental beats, like that before like it's good.
So yes, watch Pokemon the third movie. It's good. It's got the cool song. Everything is excellent.
Plus, you get to see a funny like blue crocodile wiggle around while you hear the song, so it rules.
Chikorita is relevant to the anime to try and get us a little bit back on track. On track. So
how is she relevant to the anime?
Ash's Chikorita. Have one? Ash had a Chikorita. It was in love with him.
Oh.
That was like kind of her whole character, was that she had a crush on him, and then she evolved into a Bayleaf, and one of the defining features of her character was a gag where she ran Ash over every time she was called out. It was very cute, honestly, and you remember last time I mentioned the Swade's Pokemon journey, right? He got into Johto before all of the takedowns started happening. And there's an episode in Johto where Chikorita goes to therapy.
Really?
Like, it's called out as therapy in the episode.
I see.
Chikorita and Pikachu are kind of having like a fight almost, because Chikorita is kind of jealous of Pikachu because she wants to spend more time with Ash because, again, she has a crush on Ash. It's not really subtle. They don't ever really mention it. They just say that she really likes him, but it's fairly evident, which is, one of the reasons probably why as I grew up, I never really had an issue with that in fanfics, but we don't have to get into that. So in the episode, Chikorita is given like an open space with lots of plants, and she's like given time to sort out her feelings alone instead of like having to interact with Ash's Pokemon all the time. And Ash is given like all of these instructions and steps on like how to help Chikorita feel more included and all these other things. And then Chikorita has like an escapade where she like beats up a gang of Pokemon and becomes their leader for a little bit, and then they help her like beat up Team Rocket when they show up. And it's like it's very cool, and I've always liked Ash's Chikorita and later Bayleaf. She's very much like a tough, cool girl who has a cute side type thing. Like she's when they meet her in the anime, she's sort of introduced as this very strong powerhouse who like can go toe to toe with fire types and stuff. So I really like her. She's very excellent. As for the design as a whole, some people do not like. Some people
who don't like Chikorita are lying to themselves. It's so cute.
Chikorita's very adorable. Some people don't like the progression into Meganium.
Meganium I can take or leave. I liked Meganium and New Snap, but Meganium I can take or leave. But
I think that it peaks at Bayleaf.
I think the Meganium could use like a few more accoutrements. It's very much like, oh, you can tell how much has changed with design processes
Yeah, the neck
because of
ruffle
how
just
simple
ain't enough
Meganium
for
is.
Meganium. Mm-hmm. I do
So, like,
like though that Meganium has antennae that are basically like, I think they're called pistils in flowers.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's I do love the way that I think the her antennae are supposed to be like the stamen with the pollen on them.
Stamen, that's the word. Okay.
The pistil is the thing in the middle
can
where
never
the pollen
keep track
goes
of
in.
which part is which
All
of the flower.
the only part of a flower that I know by name is I know the Japanese name for the part of the flower that protects the bud before it blooms.
Huh. I did
What's
not
that?
I do
It's utenna.
Oh, that would make sense.
That would
Oh,
make
is
sense,
that
yeah.
where the anime gets it?
I think utenna can also mean tower, and there's a whole bunch of metaphors that could be associated with that. But yeah, I think that's where they took the name.
I know Tsubomi for flower bud, and a few other ones. But yeah, so I've always liked Chikorita in terms of like starter quality. I am good with any single Johto starter. All three of them are fantastic. I could pick any of them and be happy with my entire journey, even though the game hates Chikorita and wants it to give up on life.
I like that Chikorita's shiny is kind of autumnal.
Oh yeah, it's
Yeah,
also
it's,
very cool.
It's in the fall when the leaves are drying.
Yeah.
I think Chikorita is the worst of three very good starters. I think it's cute. I think Cyndaquil is more cute, we'll get to my thoughts on Totodile when we get to Totodile. But
I really can't decide. I've always liked the leaf on the head thing. I don't know why. I just really think that it's cool. It works with the silhouette in a lot of interesting ways.
I think Chikorita is unemployed, but she's got someone taking care of her, you know? She's got that necklace.
I don't know how to feel about the things that you have just said. I genuinely do not know.
But I think that I think Bayleaf is working like a 9-to-5 job and is like moments away from losing it, especially in how she looks in Generation like 8 and 9, where the face just is kind of curved in a way that looks like an amount of discomfort.
Oh yeah, it does kind of look like that, doesn't it?
And then I think Meganium has like moved from being from full time to part time, and maybe smokes weed and has chilled out a little bit.
Really? Meganium just gives me mom vibes.
I was about to say, Meganium's a housewife.
She's like,
I can't seem...
Okay, so she met somebody. She's like, maybe the job I've got right now ain't right for me. And she's like,
oh, you're looking at the fact that it's called the Herb Pokemon, aren't you?
Oh, it's called the Herb Pokemon?
Yes, we don't got to get into that.
I think not Bayleaf. Meganium is possibly the most mom Pokemon in the franchise.
She's very much like got that energy. I keep referring to them as she because of Ash's, and also because there was another incident with a Meganium in Hoenn with Ash's Grovyle wanting to impress this Meganium and evolving into Sceptile to do it, but it turns out the Meganium was in love with this other Pokemon, and so Sceptile like literally has like a multi-episode crisis where it can't use its grass type moves because it evolved to impress a girl who was not interested in it at all.
But yeah,
so
I feel
like Meganium is very much like a feminine thing in my mind because of the way that they've used the line in this show.
I feel like Bayleaf is like the coolest looking out of the three.
Bayleaf does look
like,
very
out
cool.
Out of Chikorita, Bayleaf, and Meganium. Like I like the bite in the leaf.
Yeah, I was about to say it's the bite in the leaf.
Yeah.
Bayleaf has biker girl energy, and I'm not sure why.
Oh yeah, she kind of does, doesn't she?
She's a little bit butch.
Yeah, she's got like that attitude. Again, a lot of this is probably coming just from Ash's Bayleaf, who had that bit of an attitude. But like it really does look like it, you know? She's kind of got like she would give you like an annoyed side eye if you did something stupid, but she would still protect you, you know? Okay, so moving on.
Chikorita, A+, 8 out of 10 Pokemon.
That's a solid ranking, yeah.
Yeah.
So moving on to a certain someone's favorite Pokemon.
My favorite starter is Cyndaquil. My favorite Pokemon is Typhlosion, but my favorite starter is Cyndaquil. I love this little hedgehog thing. It's adorable. It was technically the first fire starter I ever got because I started with yellow. And it started my love of fire starters in the franchise. Like, Charmander was always my favorite of the 3 Gen 1 starters, but I got it as part of the package of 3 that you get in Pokemon Yellow because you can't get them otherwise, so they just hand you all 3 at various points in the game. But Cyndaquil has a special place in my heart because I played the crap out of Silver.
Oh, you were a Silver guy. I had Gold as a kid.
I also had Gold.
I have a confession. I borrowed somebody's copy of Silver and never saw them again.
But that's not your fault.
I should have known I was never going to see them again, but I was also 12, so...
I mean, hey, maybe sometimes they think back to that and they're like, you know what? I'm glad that person got to enjoy Pokemon. Or maybe they think, oh, that motherfucker never gave me my Pokemon Silver back. God damn it.
Yeah, probably. I think I still have that copy of Silver somewhere.
You should make one of those Reddit posts and find the owner.
That would be very
I don't
funny.
think she'd be on Reddit.
Honestly, if it weren't for the fact that Google's search optimization went down the toilet, it's not really worth being on Reddit in general anymore.
I was
like
never
having
on Reddit
discussions
and
there.
have never been on Reddit
never
and will
has
never be on Reddit. Just is not my place.
But yes, Cyndaquil. Cyndaquil is a delight. He's a cute little guy. I'm glad they gave him his fire back in Gen 9.
Yeah, I've never really cared about that because I've seen him without his fire in the show all the time.
Oh, did they go back to having him be lit up by default?
Yeah.
Oh, I see. I guess that makes sense for design clarity.
He's a cute little guy even without the fire, but...
I love the little mouse, little nose, his little echidna nose is very cute. The little closed eyes are adorable. And of course, in the anime, he was very fun and cute. He was not as big of a presence as Chikorita or Totodile were, but especially because for a little while, Ash had Charizard at the same time as Cyndaquil. Actually, no, I think he got Cyndaquil after Charizard went off to go training, and he needed a new fire type, and Cyndaquil was kind of like having to live in Charizard's shadow, which is tough. But like they went in a very different direction in a lot of ways. Like Cyndaquil was instead of like being abandoned by another trainer, Ash was competing with a different trainer to catch Cyndaquil, and Cyndaquil in the anime for a little while worked on like it was kind of sleepy all the time, and it had to
so like Hisui and Typhlosion.
Yeah, I was about to ask Laura, how do you feel about weed Typhlosion?
Do we have to make weird jokes?
Oh, does it actually make you uncomfortable? I can avoid it if you'd like.
No, it's not. It doesn't make me uncomfortable.
Oh, you're just exhausted
I've just heard
of it.
so many
Okay.
weird jokes.
How do you feel about relaxed, half-lidded eyes Typhlosion?
I think it looks weird.
Mm-hmm.
I think that it's a fine design, and its fire is cool. The fact that it's a ghost type is cool. The fact that it gets a pretty cool signature ghost type move is cool. The fact that it adds Shadow Ball to regular Typhlosion's moveset is cool. But it just looks so much doofier than regular Typhlosion. And I think Typhlosion is badass. I love Typhlosion. It's so cool. And Hisui and Typhlosion just doesn't do that. But that also leads into my biggest complaint about Typhlosion, which is that its moveset is garbage. It is atrocious. And the only thing it's gotten in the last 20 years that's been added to its move pool was adding Shadow Ball when Legends Arceus came out.
So, do you want to know something that you may not know that will probably make you angry?
What?
Typhlosion and Charizard have the same base stats.
Yeah, it's just Charizard too, but without the flying type.
Do you know what I just learned, much to my confusion?
What?
What?
Hisuian Typhlosion's hidden ability is Frisk.
Yeah, that's a common ghost type ability. It's like
it's just interesting to give a starter Pokemon the hidden ability Frisk.
Yeah, that is a little weird.
It's a very underwhelming ability.
especially compared to Flash Fire. But I mean, it's
Yeah.
not useless. It can be extremely useful in
Cursed
competitive.
Body could have been cool.
Cursed Body would have been
Cursed
cool.
Body
Yeah.
would have been appropriate.
Yeah. Or
What
like
is its? What are its other abilities? Is it just
Blaze.
standard Typhlosion
It's
abilities?
just Blaze, yeah.
Yeah. It's Typhlosion's hidden ability is Flash Fire, which is pretty good.
It's
But,
very good.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of depends,
Okay,
right?
to be
Like,
fair, regarding their base stats being the same, Charizard has seen so little competitive use. It's so funny, that poor motherfucker.
Stealth
I mean,
Rock.
Stealth Rock.
Yeah, but I mean, like, in doubles, it sees, like, a fair amount, actually.
Especially
like,
now that it has boots.
Yeah, and also, there was this thing called Mega Evolution for a while.
Yeah, but you had
And,
you had to send it out to Mega Evolve it. So it still came out as fire.
Yeah, but
flying.
Stealth Rock does not see play in VGC that much. So, like,
I really like what Legends Arceus did to Stealth Rock.
I thought it was pretty cool, yeah.
I liked a lot of the mechanical changes they made. I liked the addition of Frostbite, which is what is it?
It's-
burn for special attack or was it burn for special defense?
I don't remember exactly. Hold on.
I think
let me
it was
check.
burn for special attack.
That would make sense.
Oh,
Let me-
right. It was the drowsy status that lowered defense.
Oh, yeah, it is special moves. That's actually pretty cool. I didn't know that about Frostbite. I literally did not know.
Oh yeah, they revamped the combat statuses for the Legends Arceus combat system, and they did a really good job. I like some of it better than I like standard Pokemon statuses, to be honest.
Yeah, I can see that. I feel like Frozen is kind of tough because no move just freezes, because if any of them did, it would be busted, because the Frozen status is objectively the least fun.
Frozen and Sleep are unfun to get inflicted by because there's no interaction. Unless you're running a Snore moveset or a Sleep Talk moveset, Sleep just shuts down your Pokemon for several turns. Replacing it with Drowsy adds counterplay, where your Pokemon... I forget if Drowsy makes you sometimes not act, but it lowers your defense, so you can play around it. You can actively play, but it's a huge risk to keep it out.
Yeah, I definitely can
think
agree
that's
with
a
that.
really cool trade-off, as opposed to standard Sleep, which is just it shuts your Pokemon off.
As a butterfly enjoyer, I am obligated to say that I love Sleep. And I think that, and Sleep Clause is a skill issue, not not anything related to SAC or anything similar. It's all skill, baby. I should be allowed to sleep powder every single one of your Pokemon and quiver dance 6 times. Anyway,
I wonder if they got the idea for Salt Cure from Legends Arceus Stealth Rock.
it's possible, yeah.
Because they both do things that I really like in the same way.
Residual damage is a fascinating way of doing combat. So,
I also really like dots in any RPG.
that's fair, yeah. So, my experience with Cyndaquil is kind of interesting, because other than the anime, I did not pick it at first when I played Johto, but then I gradually started liking all of the starters. And so when I would go back and play it, like when I was in middle and high school, I would usually default to Cyndaquil because, like, I had decided I liked fire starters for a while. For a while, I always picked water. Then I decided I wanted to pick fire most of the time. And then I just decided to go based on whatever vibes. So I did play through Johto with Cyndaquil a fair amount of times, and it's it's kind of the easy mode for Johto. Like, Bulbasaur is definitely the easy mode for Kanto. For Johto, it's a little bit tougher because, like, there's a little bit more water in Johto, arguably, than would be comfortable saying Quilava is the best one. But it does clear most of the matchups fairly well.
While being the
The only
most
thing it
boring of the
really-
middle
I will
stages
say
for
that
that generation.
Sorry,
What?
say again?
I said, while being the most boring of the middle stages for Gen 2.
I was
Really?
gonna say,
I love Quilava.
Quilava is just Typhlosion, but less.
Yeah, I had a whole conversation. Like, I went over every starter with my friends the other day, and we made a tier list that I don't necessarily agree with, but whatever. And one of the things we kind of noticed is we really don't like the middle stages that are just the middle picture of the Animorph from the from the starting stage into the final stage.
I mean, I get that, but I've never had a problem. I've always liked Quilava a lot, actually. Like, I think that Quilava is, like, a very solid middle stage starter because it doesn't look awkward or weird. It looks very much like it belongs in the
Crocodile.
evolution line. It looks both cool and cute. It feels very much like okay, my guy is growing up, but it doesn't feel like too crazy or weird, like I said. And I
like
think
the
the
crazy
Mohawk
weird
is
ones.
really cool. I like that it's got like two things of fire. It's got like the punk hairstyle, which I really like. I mean, some of this is just that I associate him with associate the line with a certain Kingdom Hearts character to a certain extent, and Quilava's got Axel's hair, so it's like, oh, there's like a connection.
Quilava does have Axel's hair.
And you can even look at it and go, 2?
2.
I mean,
that's
I
true.
guess so, yeah.
You can look at it and go 2.
And I mean, like, it is kind of, because, like, he's got two things of fire, and then it goes back to one for Typhlosion, which...
Well, no, because then you look at the forms of Typhlosion and you say 2.
Oh my fucking god. Oh my fucking god. I don't even understand why that's a meme. There are so many other potential Axel memes. He says so many funny things, and they
makes
stuck
sense.
with a single number said incredulously.
But
I don't understand.
But love, listen. As they say in Kingdom Hearts Recoded, it makes sense.
I mean, okay, first of all, Kingdom Hearts Recoded does make sense.
It does.
Kingdom Hearts Recoded is like one of my favorite
It
Kingdom
does,
Hearts
but as
games.
Riku says after explaining something, it makes sense.
Is that the Mickey they put bugs in him one?
Yes.
Yes!
Mickey, Riku.
It's not. I don't even get what. Like every fucking line in Kingdom Hearts is funny out of context. Why you gotta pick on my my third favorite Kingdom Hearts game?
Kingdom Hearts is
It's
just
kinda like,
fundamentally
okay,
funny, and that's
so-
what makes it good.
In Crisis Core, right? There's a line where Zack says, "Me, Gongaga."
Yes,
which
and I don't get that
says
meme
it
either. That meme
it
is also
perfectly
really dumb. I
sensible
see it and I'm like,
in
God.
context. But out of context, it's the dumbest fucking line
And it's
in
so
the
fun.
entire
And the
game.
delivery is so confident, is the thing about it.
It's just
Yeah.
It is the delivery. It's
Me?
just the
Gongaga.
delivery. I'm gonna fucking have an aneurysm
When I played
right now.
when I played a Golgari deck in Magic the Gathering, every time Golgari was said, my brain just produced me, Gongaga.
I'm gonna punch somebody.
It's so
I'm
fun.
gonna
I
punch somebody.
I always see these memes as a way that people enjoy and engage with and have fun with the source material, and not as in them taunting it, you know?
See, I would feel confident about that if people did not make fun of Kingdom Hearts all the time for exactly the kinds of things.
Well,
if
the thing that sucks about people making fun of Kingdom Hearts is the things that they criticize about it are often the things that actually make Kingdom Hearts incredibly good.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, it's so stupid. Look, haha, the game's talking about how all the 101 Dalmatians got scattered across the universe. And it's like, no, that's fun. That's fun.
I've never
think-
heard that as a complaint.
I
think that Kingdom Hearts, in a lot of ways, is stupid, but it's fun stupid.
Like,
It's self-indulgent.
I don't know.
And I
Like,
appreciate
in some
that.
ways, yes. Like, to a certain degree, is it really fucking dumb that we are led to like.
I also think it
Hold on,
doesn't
let me
itself
restructure my
I also
thoughts.
think its biggest problem is sometimes it goes into a Disney World and it doesn't let itself be stupid enough.
That's true.
It's
Kingdom
at its
Hearts
best
3,
when it's
thankful.
just doing whatever the fuck. So, yeah,
Thankfully,
Kingdom Hearts
Kingdom
3
Hearts 3 did-
Pixar worlds.
Like they
Let themselves have fun.
they fucking win in on that shit.
But
Like,
then you go to Frozen World and it's just Frozen happens and Sora, Donald, and Goofy are there sometimes.
I feel like that was probably because Nomura did not want to have Frozen in there originally.
It's also because
Disney's executive meddling probably explains the Frozen
that
world.
too. Yeah, it's also because the Pixar people, the writers from Pixar, approached the Kingdom Hearts people when their properties were being used in the game and said, "We want in on this."
Good.
That's why the
Because,
Toy Story and the Monsters Inc. worlds are the way they are.
Like, I mean, you can totally, like, in a lot of ways, yes, the fact that the organization is the main villain of of several games, but also they are an incompetent bag of cats who are constantly backstabbing each other, is very stupid in a very fun way. But it's also like that's how people are.
The thing about Organization 13 is that they were the fucking coolest thing in 2004.
There's nothing cooler than taking your name and putting the letter X in it.
Like, absolutely.
The hoodies, the names, the designs, the edginess. It was the coolest fucking thing in 2004.
Me rolling up in a black hoodie like, hey guys, it's
listen to me.
Dead Ticks.
Do you have any idea how fucking cool it was in Kingdom Hearts 3D when they started saying, wait, don't you guys actually have hearts because of the way that hearts work magically?
And then they said,
and
oh fuck, we do.
Me, somebody who is writing fan fiction about these motherfuckers being gay for each other in 2009 was like ascending into the heavens, being proven right on all counts. And then Kingdom Hearts 3 comes out, and every single one of them is likable in some way, and I was expecting them
even
to be
Larxene?
Totally villainous, and they even were like, Xemnas has feelings and has regrets about things, and I was just laying there, basking in the glow of being right.
Xemnas as in Xehanort, yes?
Yes.
Oh, as in Xehanort's nobody. Sorry.
So the thing about Xehanort is that every version of him is in fact a discrete character with discrete motivations and discrete personality traits. Because the thing about having multiple selves is that your experiences shape who you are, and they all split off far enough back that they are extremely different people, and that's kind of the point of the game.
I remember
because that happens to multiple people, and Naminé and Kairi are not the same, and Sora and Roxas are not the same. They're separate. They are different. Your experiences make you who you are, and the bonds that you form and everything.
I remember when Dave Sprite talked to Rose about this at the end of Homestuck.
Exactly! No, it's literally the same thing. It's literally the same shit.
Oh, sorry, no. Dave Pettisprite Squared talked to Rose about this at the end of Homestuck.
My favorite Homestuck character, by the way. I have fallen out of love with Homestuck. I try not to care about it much.
In my brain, I'm not in love with Homestuck, but you know that expanding brain meme? Mm-hmm. It's just Homestuck is good, Homestuck is bad, Homestuck is good, Homestuck is bad, and it just keeps going forever. That's my feelings about Homestuck.
Yeah, that seems about right.
The place I'm at with Homestuck is that the epilogues and Homestuck 2 soured me on the whole experience, but I think the main body of Homestuck is one of the most important and influential works of the internet era.
Oh, it definitely is that. It just also was never what I thought it was, or was going to be. Its goals were not what I thought they were the entire time I was reading it.
Yeah, the epilogue is interesting because it wants to make you not want it to exist as a piece of writing, which for a lot of people is a complete turnoff. But for me, I'm like, oh, that's good shit. Yes, please be a super challenging piece of media for me to enjoy consuming. Yes, I love it.
See, here's the thing, right?
I think that bad on purpose for stylistic and cleverness reasons is still bad.
So here's the thing. I need both of you to read Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint.
I keep hearing about that.
So what it is that it is what I thought Homestuck was for the entirety of me being interested in Homestuck before it revealed itself to be a survival horror story that did not actually care about finishing its character arcs that much.
So,
yeah, horror stuck sure was a thing.
So to circle back to an earlier question, which Organization 13 member is the least employed? Like the most unemployed?
Oh god, that's
Larkseen.
so fucking difficult.
Larkseen, because she can't hold
Larkseen.
it down. Yeah, she can't hold the job.
I mean, I guess,
Larkseen causes problems on purpose for fun.
I listened
I
to.
guess so, yeah.
I listened to.
Like, I want to say Demix, right? Like, obviously, because he doesn't want to be there.
Demix is a
but he's
straight
still
performer.
doing his damn job.
He is kind of doing his best to do his job.
Yeah, I
Larkseen is evil for fun.
I listened
Yeah,
to.
Larkseen is just kind of doing whatever the fuck she wants.
I listened to a very fun podcast where they did like an actual play of a Kingdom Hearts system they made for a tabletop RPG, Interstitial or Hearts Intertwined, and their fucking campaign, which was delightful and included among other characters. There was sorry, I'm just gonna go off for a bit. Own tempo, tangents.
Tangents.
Some of the main characters.
I have no
included-
idea how much of this I am going to cut out.
Don't cut any of it.
Don't cut any of it. This is
This is the
this is
best
why people
part.
listen to us.
Some of the characters included Roxanne, not specifically from the Goofy movie, but from the "Damn You Live Like This" meme of the Goofy movie. March from Final Fantasy Tactics Advance.
Okay.
And because they were limiting themselves to Disney properties and Final Fantasy stuff, Chris Angel, Mind Freak, because Disney owned the rights to Chris Angel, Mind Freak.
I don't know what that is.
He's basically
God.
in a person, like an entertainment personality that would like do magic tricks and shock overly effeminate men. I don't know how to describe Chris Angel, Mind Freak, but
I am so interested.
anyways,
though.
at one point, Larkseen shows up because a bunch of Organization 13 does, but they meet her in the Sonic the Hedgehog world, so she is
Yes!
currently a fucking like speedy yellow hedgehog.
Yes!
We
This
love
is it. This is the shit that I did in 2009.
All
This
right.
is everything that I wanted.
Hell
all the time.
yeah.
I will have to link you to the podcast so you can
Like, literally, when I was in 8th grade, I had a couple of friends, and we just labbed out Kingdom Hearts and Sonic the Hedgehog crossovers.
Fuck
like,
yeah.
various
Hell yeah.
different levels of them. And we worked with, like, the full Sonic canon at that time. So this wasn't 2009. This would have been, like, 2007? 2008? Somewhere
Oh
around
man,
between...
I joined the online Sonic community in 2003, and let me tell you, there was some Kingdom Hearts shit going on.
It was let me actually like think. So this was 8th grade. I graduated high school in 2014. So if we go back, it was 2013 was 11th grade, 2012 was 10th grade, 2011 would have been 9th grade. So yeah, it was 2010. It would have been 2010, 2009, 2010. So I was actually remembering the date correctly. That's wild. So we were working with the entire Sonic canon, which included, of course, Sonic 06, a game that I had not heard, that I did not hear a bad thing about until I got to high school. I had 3 years of never hearing a bad thing about that game, and just
Where
liking
were you
it
in
a
the
lot.
online Sonic community? Because that game broke our hearts.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't on, like, I didn't talk about Sonic Online much. I mostly talked about, like, Pokemon and Kingdom Hearts. I only got into, like, Sonic a little bit more hardcore with these two dudes, because, I was, like, sort of getting into the OC scene, and also I had loved the story in 06 so much.
Sonic
I don't
06's
think...
story is so fascinating to me because it's like it's a story about failure and about coping with failure.
Mm-hmm. And it's also a story where Sonic the Hedgehog gets kissed by an anatomically correct human woman.
I don't know if I'd say Elise is anatomically correct.
That's fair, yeah. But like, you know, like a realistic, semi-realistic human woman.
anatomically correct is the sort of thing you save for specific genres of fan fiction.
Yeah, okay, let's not go with that. Let's not go to that topic. So anyway, I literally did not think twice about literally anything that happened in Sonic 06 until I got into high school. I was like, yep, that all makes sense. That's all like totally cool, and like, you know, like, because like I was totally fine with Sonic having a human girlfriend, because like the whole thing was like, yes, clearly this is a romance plot. Yeah, no problem. I just like,
to be fair, from conception, they have considered giving Sonic a human girlfriend.
That too. I didn't know that when I was 12,
yeah.
but
I liked the
just...
OVA where he was trying to rescue the human princess.
But that wasn't a girlfriend. He wasn't weird about her, mostly.
Like, I mean, to me, it's always been like
him, as I recall.
A little bit. Mostly she just wanted to beat the shit out of Eggman and scream about how he didn't want or she didn't want him anywhere near her, which is fair.
Because, like, for me, it's like Sonic is a hedgehog, but like he's a person. So like it didn't weird me out until I was told to feel weird about it.
That is true. Sonic is a hedgehog, but is also a person.
So for me, it's just like I don't really see why that should matter.
How many people do you think named their Cyndaquil Sonic?
Oh,
that's a good
I'm looping
question.
us back.
Quite a few.
I'm looping us back.
Thank God.
Yeah, we should probably get back on
Okay,
topic.
to be fair, we've covered 2 of the 3. Do you know
We
you know what we didn't cover?
What didn't we cover?
Pikachu. I guess we'll do a Pikachu and Eevee episode at some point.
Yeah, we're gonna do it after we cover
all the
okay.
Pika clones, I think.
Yeah, after we cover all of the mainline starters.
Oh, then
we're gonna have a Pika clone episode, and then we're gonna have an Eeveelutions episode. Mm-hmm. So we have the first 10 episodes of this podcast labbed out. I hope you guys are ready. Yeah.
But yeah, you got to leave the tangents in, because podcast listeners love that shit.
Yeah,
and if they don't, they'll learn.
This is the fun of listening to us.
If they don't, they'll learn to love it.
I guess. Like, I feel like there's a balance you have to hit, right? But
hey,
maybe
we're
I'm thinking
going at
too
our
hard.
own tempo, love.
It's true. It's true. We do that.
So
Totodile.
Totodile.
I have thoughts
Totodile.
on Totodile. I have thoughts on Totodile.
I love this fucking guy.
Totodile is, in my opinion, the best designed starter Pokemon in the entire series. Cyndaquil is my favorite, but Totodile is everything right with Charmander and Squirtle, but optimized. Totodile is a little guy in the little guy way that is both adorable and cool to an optimal level. Totodile is simultaneously one of the most detailed starters and yet simple and iconic. Totodile is the optimal Pokemon starter, and I don't think there's any that really compete with him.
And, importantly, he does a little dance.
He does a little dance.
I fucking love him. In the anime, he's phenomenal. I picked him the first time I was playing through. I would pick him all the time. For a while, like I said, I picked water starters because of Squirtle and because of this little guy. Because I named him like Jaws or Chomps or something. And he's just such a good little dude. And I love Crocona's little caveman outfit, even though it goes absolutely nowhere. It's another one of those we're going sideways for the evolution design for the evolution.
For me, is a better design than Feraligatr.
I can see that.
I think Crocodile having clothes patterns feels weird, and I find it to be a middle Evo in the way that later middle Evos are, in that it's kind of weird and kind of off topic and kind of just awkward.
That's fair. I am also a big fan of Quilladin, so
we can get, I cannot wait to talk about that guy with me at Kalos. I have so many things to say. But so for me, like I said, I'm biased. I've always liked the Totodile line. It was the first one I picked. So when my Totodile would evolve into Croconaw, I would see it and I would be like, oh, that's kind of cool. Why does he look like a caveman? Oh, he's kind of like a dinosaur. He's got like a mohawk. That's kind of cool. For me, it's very similar to how War Turtle gets like the frills and accoutrements, and then they go away for something else.
He balds.
I like, it's weird, but I don't really care because I think it looks cool.
You know, I'm noticing something looking at the Cerebi page for the Gen 2 of Totodile's line.
Mm-hmm.
Crocodile and Feraligatr had a green body until Crystal, and then Crystal color corrected it to blue.
Oh wow, yeah, they were more teal in Gold and Silver.
Yeah.
That's actually kind of cool.
Oh yeah, so they were. Weird.
It's kind of almost a shiny color.
Yeah, just a shiny, had a different color of, I don't know if I'd call them scales. Ridges?
Yeah, they're...
Wow, it looks significantly... Feraligatr looks significantly more badass in Gen 2 than it does in Gen 8.
Yeah, I mean,
I
static
think that's a symptom of different design.
If you look at...
Stuff designed for still sprites...
Yeah.
has different needs for making a design look cool.
He is
than stuff
also
designed
chunkier.
for 3D.
Compare Gen
chunkier.
2 and Gen 3, and I feel like immediately they changed how they wanted Feraligatr to look.
Yeah, like,
let me
in
take
a
a
lot of
look at
ways,
him
like,
in
the Ruby
Gen 3.
is... The Gen 3 design is literally just a paint over of the Gen 2 in a
But it
lot of
looks
ways.
worse.
Like, but, like, it is kind of like...
Oh yeah, they made him too much like a dragon.
Like, the eyes are in a different spot, you can kind of tell. Like, they did... He was chunkier in Gen 2. They kind of tried to, like, slim him down a little bit, give him a more defined neck. But in Heart Gold and Soul Silver, and, like, in Platinum, he looks pretty cool, I would say. Like, he's very much, like, standing up in a way that makes him look pretty intimidating. In 3D, he kind of is, like... giving you a smug grin almost.
I mean, in
3D,
Totodile looks like it has not a single thought in its brain.
Yeah.
Which is kind of fitting, honestly. I kind of don't hate it, but that's because I am the most biased individual in the world. I made a dragon type version of these guys of Feraligatr that is that is like on all fours, with wings on its back, because like. I think it can stand on 4 legs. It's like rearing up is supposed to be like sort of the language of, but like it looks more, like a companion person on like its back legs, which is kind of the whole point of the starter design, is to look like your friend basically. But I think it can go on all 4s. I don't actually remember. If that's a thing.
am unreasonably annoyed that Feraligatr's name never got respelled.
Because of the character limit.
I think it's funny. I think it's very funny. Like, it is objectively very stupid, but like, I don't know. I think it's funny. I've always thought that it was kind of neat. Like, when I would get the Feraligatr, I'd be like, oh, that's kind of weird. But sure, why not? It's a Pokemon name. So I think it works out fine. I love crocodilians in general. Like, let's take a tangent and talk about how fucking cool alligators and crocodiles are. Feraligatr is actually a caiman, according to the one of the main inspirations for this podcast, the Dex on YouTube. They went over like all the different like species of crocodilians, and not only is Feraligatr approximately the right size for a spectacled caiman, it's got like the eye spots, and it's got like the right snout, the right like teeth, the right I think there's like ridges on it somewhere, or like a lack of ridges on it somewhere, and so it's very much like actually a caiman, which is very funny because Oshawott, right? The Oshawott line is otters and like sea lions, but if you look at a river otter that lives in like the Amazon, they're actually really huge, and those two have beef. Like, a gang of river otters will like straight up take down a caiman because caimans will eat their babies.
So are you
So
telling
they've
me
got,
that there should be an episode of the anime where Oshawott and Feraligatr, like a bunch of Oshawott are teaming up to fight a Feraligatr or something?
I'm saying that there should be an episode of the anime where a group of Feraligatr and Crocodile and Totodile and a group of Duat and Oshawott led by a Samurott should be having a gang war. They should
That
be
would be
having a
pretty
turf
cool.
war, and that should be the episode should be about the main cast getting involved and trying to break it up.
Should the leader Feraligatr have markings on its back that look like a Yakuza tattoo?
That would be funny. That would be funny. I could
So
see.
here's something I just noticed. Mm-hmm. Feraligatr is 7 feet 7 inches and weighs less than 200 pounds.
Yeah, because lizards have muscles and fat storage in a different way than mammals.
Let me actually look at how much a spectacled caiman weighs.
Unless I'm talking on my ass and I'm not remembering stuff right.
It reminds me. I picked up a copy of the 2nd edition D&D Monster Manual a few years back just because I saw it and I was like, oh, that would be cool to own. And when I got into Baldur's Gate recently, I pulled it out and I was like, okay, I'm learning about stuff in Baldur's Gate 1, which runs off 2nd edition. I'm going to read about the monsters. The ogre in the 2nd edition monster manual ranges between 9 and 10 feet tall and weighs 280 to 300 pounds. So as opposed to how they're normally depicted, which is big, fat, rumbly guys, the ogres in 2nd edition D&D are canonically stick thin.
Okay, so
Which,
actually,
I-
Feraligatr is twice as dense as a normal caiman of its size.
Really?
Yes. The average.
Well, a caiman is a lot longer and thinner than a feraligatr, from what I'm aware.
No, caimans look like small alligators.
Oh.
They, alligators are a little bit bulkier, but the spectacled caiman in particular, it ranges from 4'7" to 8'2", which for alligator is in the right range, and it weighs anywhere between.
Is this nose to butt or nose to tip of tail?
I believe that would be nose to tip of tail, which is the same for alligator. Usually, that's how Pokemon measures.
Okay, so feraligatr is significantly smaller than I was thinking.
Yeah,
I was thinking it was 7 feet tall from floor to top of crest.
it is kind of hard to tell with Pokemon because, it measures serpentine Pokemon from tip to tail. So it does do length sometimes, but it's not always clear. And of course, the Pokedex measurements and stuff are always a little bit weird. But yeah, a caiman will max out at 40 kilograms or 88 pounds at
Wow.
8 feet long.
No wonder river otters can take them down.
Yeah, I can look at how dense an alligator is for
Alligators, depending on the species, alligators can get up to 12 feet long.
Yeah, up to 15 feet. Yeah, okay, they can weigh up to 500 kilograms. So they are significantly bulkier than caimans are, which would make
Chonky
sense.
boys.
So yeah, so for alligator is more chunky than a caiman would be. He's closer to an alligator in that way.
Seeing as its name in French is literally alligator.
Right, but in Japanese it's ordile, so it actually varies.
Alligators are the ones with the stubby snouts, and crocodiles are the ones with the long snouts, right?
Well, yes, but
Okay.
it's a little bit more complicated than that. Alligators have round ends of their snout, and crocodiles have slightly longer, but mostly it's more pointed.
Yeah, exactly.
And another thing you can tell is which teeth are sticking out when it closes its mouth.
Yeah, alligators have the underbite, right?
They have an overbite.
Oh.
Crocodiles, they have teeth from both top and bottom on the outside, which for alligator does.
Do you think that you can just hold a Feraligator's mouth closed and it can't open it?
Possibly. That would make sense.
Maybe that's how the Oshawott win.
Just a Samurott sitting on its face. Beat him up, boys!
I would not be surprised if there are already illustrations of Samurott sitting on Feraligator's face.
I would like that. I haven't gone looking though. I love crocodilians though. I've always liked them. They take care of their babies, both
Yeah, they
males
carry
and
them around in their
females,
mouths,
depending on
right?
species. Yes, they can carry them around in their mouth when they're very
And
small.
and baby crocodiles make laser noises.
It's very cute.
It's so cute.
And sometimes
Pew pew pew.
and sometimes alligators will team up. Alligators or crocodiles will team up with bird species, and they'll co-parent. They'll like watch each other's nests because the birds can obviously see farther, and the alligators or crocodiles are much scarier.
Yeah, nobody is fucking with a crocodile in the wild.
It's very interesting because obviously birds evolved from reptiles.
Sure, yeah.
And it would be very difficult to make a genealogy that is of reptiles that includes turtles and alligators and lizards that does not include birds based on how they are all related.
Yeah.
If you believe in evolution.
We all believe in evolution.
Yeah, let's not joke about that, just in case, you know.
Oh my god. Yeah, let's not get into something that is just depressing.
If Squirtle evolves into War Turtle, then why are there still Squirtle?
Oh my
No,
god.
better question, if Squirtle evolves into War Turtle, why are there still Torkoals? is the real question that they're asking. But let's not get into that.
So yeah, to me, it's always really interesting thinking about how similar alligators kind of are to birds and not to other reptiles because of the way that they take care of their babies and stuff. And they form pairs a little bit more frequently. But it turns out actually that some snakes will take care of their babies as well. There's a couple of python species that have been found to do maternal things, which so cool. I love learning about animals. It's one of the reasons why I like Pokemon, because sometimes Pokemon will teach me things about animals, and then I learn things about animals, and then I look at a Pokemon design, and I'm like, oh my god, that's like that thing! And it's so neat, and I can come up with my own Pokemon ideas that are similar.
It's very modular like that. There's a lot of stuff you can just pick up an idea for an animal and come up with a neat twist on it, and there's a Pokemon. It's very approachable designing Pokemon.
That's my
species
favorite
that way.
theory about how Pokemon happen in like the Pokemon universe. I like to believe that they emerge from the collective human unconscious.
Oh, very Persona. That actually kind of makes
Yeah,
sense.
a lot of the stuff in
That's
Gen
cool.
5 kind of made me, theorize about that.
There are a lot of different theories. The idea that Pokemon are from space, the idea that we humans came to the Pokemon world from a different dimension thanks to Hoopa messing around with the fabric of space and time, and pre-human ancestors
you
came
rascal.
to the Pokemon world and evolved alongside Pokemon at like an earlier point in time.
Yeah, I like the thought that, Pokemon emerge from like the human unconscious via some sort of force that exists in the universe. And so stuff like Ultra Beasts are that same force being enacted in a universe without humans, which just creates very strange things.
That's
Creates
definitely
super
possible.
buff mosquitoes.
Remember, only female mosquitoes drink blood.
And furthermore, female cockroaches do not look the way that Pheromosa does.
It's great.
That's
Trans icon.
Yes, crocodiles don't look like for alligator either.
Well, yeah,
yeah,
because
but,
caimans do.
Yep.
Is it Cayman or Cayman?
It's Cayman,
It's probably
as far as
caiman,
I'm
yeah.
aware.
I just don't pronounce things right. Like Chicoria.
Far be it from me to complain. It took me 20 years to start calling Eris Aerith.
I still struggle to call delivered.
I guess it would be delivered. I still call it Delibird because I don't even-
Delibird is the objectively more fun name, but Delivered is probably the genesis of the name, and it's just that nobody has ever corrected the
Let me-
people saying it.
What is Delibird's Japanese name? Like, we don't, like, not to go on a tangent. Oh, it is just Delibird. Delibird.
Have I told you about my favorite thing about Shelder's name?
What?
Okay, so if you look at Shelder's Japanese name,
Hold on. Feels like we covered our starters, like
so fast.
way faster than last time.
Yeah. So, shoulder in Japanese is sharuda, which is basically pointing at something and saying, that's a shell.
Yep,
But it's also
what
a
he
pun
is.
on shelter, which I think is very fun and clever.
That is very cool.
Yeah.
Oh,
And I
Teddy,
literally
you
didn't get that until just now.
So, Teddy,
Yes.
do you have any cool D&D scenarios related to any of the Gen 2 starters
Oh, man.
that you can come up with
man, let me
for
just-
us?
I'm too busy thinking about which Pokemon are unemployed.
I mean, like it could be a scenario based around employment.
Feraligator's definitely a bouncer who reads Tolkien in his spare time.
That's so evocative. Why does that work? Why is that exactly correct?
And it's a star-crossed romance when he falls in love with a
The
with
Samurai.
a samurai.
I'm gonna.
Her
fucking
powerful
need to
charms
destroy
and
the world.
swordplay woo his heart, but can he
I'm
compete?
gonna destroy the world. This is that's okay.
You might
let's
destroy
make
the
it
world,
gay
but I'm
though.
gonna
Let's make it two.
revolutionize it.
Let's make it two dudes, just because
I don't know.
it's more accurate because most of them are dudes, and B, I want gay shit.
I don't know. I think I might prefer like a butch for butch romance.
That would also work.
Yeah, Feraligator is kind of butch.
Huh?
You're right.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's true. Feraligator is kind of butch.
Yeah, got the mohawk and everything.
Yeah. I trust her to repair my car.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, we
Covered the things we wanted to cover pretty fast this time, and we even had the time to talk about Kingdom Hearts and Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah, that's wild.
you have to leave that in.
Please.
I guess so, given that it's not even been it's barely been an hour. I'm gonna have to cut out so many of my stutters though, because I didn't take my meds on time today. So like my brain was.
Oh yeah,
Kinda
I gotta
being-
take
Oh
my,
fuck! I need to take my
asthma
don't get
inhaler. Hang
HIV
on.
meds.
Say what?
Oh, PrEP. It's a medication that you can take if you have risk behaviors for HIV, and it basically makes your body know to just say, "Hey, fuck off" if HIV shows up.
Huh.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a vaccine, but like
You have to
that
take
you
it.
take in pill
There is
form.
an injection form, but the most common form is pills that are taken daily.
So it's kind of like a long-term version
Yeah.
of.
And I think it reduces your chances of getting like HIV from exposure to like by 99%.
Wow.
And the acquisition rate from
Medical science has come a long
yeah,
way.
and the acquisition rate from exposure from the most like risk-heavy behavior I think is like 10%, so it reduces it immensely.
Wow,
Yeah.
cool.
That's extremely cool indeed.
Keep that in so that people can be educated. If you have risk behaviors with HIV, including using needles and sharing them in any way, or winky face, look into getting PrEP. Not only does most insurance cover it, but there are assistance programs that can help you get to it at an affordable rate. Take care of your health.
Hashtag not sponsored.
Oh, don't worry, I didn't mention whatever. I think Truvada is the most common. I don't fucking know.
Do you have anything that you would like to plug, Lore?
Why was my plug for this episode PrEP?
I mean, you don't have social media.
Not anymore. Looks wistfully into the distance.
Well, I do have this Pokemon podcast I'd like to plug with a couple of my friends.
Yeah, tell me about it.
It's pretty cool. We talk about Kingdom Hearts.
So, this has been the Own Tempo Pokemon podcast. If you liked this, make sure to do engagement to it. Comment on Apple Podcasts. We're probably going to upload the audio to YouTube. Comment on that. Give us a like. Subscribe to Lore, whose channel it's going to be on. I don't know what you people do on Spotify because I'm not really on there, but we are uploading it to there. So do whatever engagement is on Spotify. Tell your friends.
The YouTube
about...
we're uploading it to is at Loreweaver, just so you guys are aware.
Also, if you're any of my
Yes.
friends from the Henry Kissinger's Pokemon Going to Die server, hi guys, hi.
Tell all your other friends who don't go to servers that we're in about the podcast, and let's see if we cannot become a real podcast with like multiple other people like special guesting on us sometime or something. That'd be kind of cool. I am Obsessive Reader Love. You can find me at, I think I'm still Nightflower Love on YouTube. I haven't uploaded in a while, but I might do some stuff there again. I have a Discord, but you don't need to know it unless we're actually friends. And I'm on Tumblr at lovebloggingandreblogging.tumblr.com.
Does Lore go next, or do I go next?
I think Lore goes next.
Cool.
Oh, well, you can find me at loreweaver-universe.tumblr.com. I have a community Discord server that you can join if you want a cool community. I stream on Twitch at twitch.tv/loreweaver15. I'm a variety streamer, and I stream stuff for patrons, and I have a good time. I upload all my streams to YouTube at Loreweaver. Yes, I somehow got the at Loreweaver name 15 years after YouTube came about. I have no idea how I managed that. Yeah, check out my stuff.
And I've been Teddy. You can find me at wolfriciceberg.tumblr.com. Yes, I managed to get the name Wolfric Iceberg years and years and years ago. Please don't look back through my blog. I was probably embarrassing. But that's the main place where I blog.
Weren't we all?
I watched Revolutionary Girl Lieutenant recently, and I liked that, so I'll also plug that. It's not just the lesbian sword anime. It's the, hey, abuse really sucks to be in, and you need to find ways to empower yourself and others to escape show. So,
and also Takarazuka Review is kind of interesting and very culturally significant.
Definitely.
And look into that more.
Yeah, especially since Utena borrows a lot from Review. So hey.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like it's the hey, maybe this Takarazuka Review thing is kind of interesting, and then you go watch Review Starlight, and you're like, whoa, I want to learn more about the Takarazuka Review so much right now, and then you find out that it's actually like weird and conservative, and you're like, what? Why? And it's very strange, but very interesting culturally. Stairs. So
told you about Stairs.
I warned
dog.
You about them.
Anyway, so yeah, thank you very much for listening to our wonderful podcast. We will see you next time when we talk about the Hoenn starters. And do you like mudkips? Because I do.
I do.
Catch you on the flip side.
Adios.
Have fun, stay safe, and be brave enough to be kind. And get Pokemon!
Get Pokemon!
Get Pokemon!